Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for you for your Friday. And this is going to be a fun one, and this is going to be one like we haven't done before. We are taking professionalism and throwing it out the window, and we are bringing in real life, raw footage or audio of what's going on right now. And I hope y'all are doing well. We are having a fantastic time. It's actually going to be a super fun show for me. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, screw the polish, screw the everything else. Let's just have fun. Let's hang out. I think that's what everybody's here for anyway, is to hang out, have a good time, learn and grow along the way. And that's what we're going to do today. So I'm actually out, and this is going to be a solo show. We've got a few things I want to get into today. Before we get into the show, if you haven't listened to our Marriage Mondays, then you might not know, but my wife Savannah and I are doing 75 hard, and we're on day like 17 or 18 right now, I think. I can't remember which one. And we are actually out right now, or I'm out right now. So I worked all day today. We had a full day today, 10-hour day. And now I'm out walking, getting my outdoor walk in. And so I'm multitasking, getting the podcast done, getting a walk in, and figuring out how we can accomplish this 75 hard. It's been a super fun process so far. Actually, I take that back. It hasn't been super fun. It's been very challenging, actually. But it's going to be super rewarding. Like, it's been really cool to see that for 2 weeks straight, a little over 2 weeks now, going on 3, that we have decided to just determine that we're doing this. We are doing this. We're not backing down. We're accepting the challenge. We're stepping up to it. And it's actually been pretty rewarding, honestly. We're not even near finished with it. We're not even a third of the way done yet. But I can already tell that by day 75, I'm going to feel like a totally different person mentally. Physically, I hope to see some physical changes, but really, like, mentally, my mental state is going to be totally changed, I believe, and I can't wait for that. That's going to be something that is really cool to me because I've never actually done anything long-term. So I've said I would do a lot of things and never actually done them, and so today we are making that happen, and y'all are joining along with me. So we got 45 minutes to walk. I don't know if the show will be 45 minutes long, but that's what we're doing. So we're getting our outdoor workout done, and we're going to take you along with us. So anyway, I hope y'all are having a fantastic week. We have been battling the rain. I mean, today was the first day this week we haven't gotten rained on. And actually, as I'm walking, a storm was rolling in. So hopefully the wind isn't too bad. I'm trying to keep it knocked down a little bit. But storms rolling in. We might get rained on while we're walking and doing the podcast. You never know. So we're just having real life, real fun topics and real life conversations today on the show. And so thank you for tuning in. If you are new to the show and you don't know what the show is, then the show is growing. We really appreciate that. And all of you joining in along with us. And the reason I'm doing this is so I want to start doing this like once a week maybe. If you're a veteran of the show, you listen from day one, yeah, you might skip the next 30 seconds or a minute. It's okay. But I was actually listening to a new podcast today that I'd never listened to, and I didn't go back to the beginning. I just picked up on an episode that was promoted to me, and they were talking about things that were like, they put no context behind it, though. So it was like the basis of the show. They were talking about that and different principles along with that, but they didn't explain it at all. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know what this means. Like, I haven't listened to the show from day one, so that episode was pretty much pointless to me, and I probably won't go back and listen to that, honestly. And so I'm not going to sit here and give you a whole explanation of what the show is, especially not every episode. But today, I do want to at least explain, like I said, 30 seconds to a minute, what the show is. Growing Green Podcast started 2 years ago. I started it in the summer of 2021, and it's been so rewarding so far. It's definitely been a challenge staying consistent, getting these things out, but it's been so rewarding getting to build so many relationships with each and every one of you. And thank you for tuning in and following along with us. But we just want to talk entrepreneurship and business here on the show. We want to talk about all things lawn and landscape, even just outside of the landscape world, the green industry. There's so many cool businesses that happen that need to be shared about, and a lot of entrepreneurial stories that need to be shared. And I like being a part of that. I like learning. I like listening and talking to them. I've actually linked up with quite a few from my local area that hopefully we're going to have coming on the show here soon. There's some other businesses that want to share their story, and so we're excited about that. But that's the basis of the show, is to talk about business and entrepreneurship. Well, then in 2022, my wife, Savannah, decided to join along with us, and we said, hey, let's start this Marriage Monday thing and see what happens. I came up with that name on my own by myself, if you didn't know that, just for the record. But I'm just messing. Anyway, well, I'm actually not messing. I actually did come up with it, but it's nothing special. I just thought it sounded catchy, so I said, well, let's do it. Let's rock and roll with it. I just pretty much told Savannah we were doing it. And she had never really been on the podcast. I think she might have done one podcast before we started that series. And then we just said, hey, we're going all in. And so we did that, and we haven't looked back since. It's been awesome. I think we're actually going to release episode 52 this week. 51 and 52 is coming out this week. So almost a whole year of doing the show, which doesn't feel like it. It does not feel like it's been that long, but I guess it has. And so we're so excited to be doing that. We just talk marriage and business and the things behind all your marriages, all your business opportunities, things like that, your ventures. They all come home. And so that's what we're trying to get into on those shows. We really appreciate everyone joining in and sharing the show there on Mondays. It's grown into one of my favorite shows, honestly. I think a lot of the listenership has grown to love that as well. So thank you to y'all for following on and supporting that and helping us grow it, because it's our passion has really grown into that side of things. We're not going to drop the other episodes by any means, but we love getting to build relationships with other married couples and hear about how y'all are doing things. So it's been fantastic. Getting to meet and grow with so many of you that are out there doing the same thing that we are. And it's just an awesome opportunity that we have before us. So now that all the blabbering is over with, I just wanted to give a short explanation. So 6 minutes in, and we might get into some value now. But what I want to get into is kind of walk through what's going on right now and for Growing Green Landscapes. And I know I do this kind of often, but I love this stuff. I love when people share like what's actually happening in their business at this time, people that I can relate to. And so I know a lot of you guys are running lawn and landscape companies right now, and so you can relate with some of this because you're going through the same stages that I am. And that's what we've said, is we want to share. We want to be a help and a guiding light to those of you that are young in business, years 3 to 5, the years that we're just coming out of. Like, we're just coming out of those years, so we're still so fresh in them, and even still dealing with some of those challenges. And so I wanted to talk about those today, and it's going to be super fun. And I don't know if there's going to be a ton of value, but it's going to be entertaining, some of the topics we get into and things like that. So what's first on the agenda for today's show is I wanted to just talk about how you need to 100% start qualifying your customers, like to the T, if you're not doing that already. And I know we probably have talked about this on the show before. I don't know if I have done it by myself. I don't think I've done a solo show on it, but I know I've had the conversation. And it's something that I've said and talked about, but haven't really done the way that I should do. And I think that's probably the case for a lot of you out there, is you say that, you say it, you know you should do it, you know you should have card on file, but do you actually have card on file for everybody? Let's be honest. And so there's definitely things that you always say, you know you should do. You're doing these things, but you're not doing it totally to its fullest potential. Well, let me tell you this. Qualifying your customers, this is from personal experience, I'm going to tell you about why in a minute, has to become number one on your list, or a top 5 thing on your list. Not number one necessarily, but a top 5 thing on your list if you are getting into bigger landscape projects. And so the difference is between qualifying somebody who wants lawn mowing versus somebody who's looking to spend potentially $10,000 to $15,000 on a project are two totally different things, because the time that it takes to get estimates out for those are two totally different processes. And so we're just going to let me talk lawn maintenance real fast. You should be qualifying those customers. If somebody calls you, you should, one, obviously figure out where they are. Are they in your service area? If they're not in your service area, you shut it down from day one. Like that conversation, no, we don't go outside of our service area. Here's somebody. You obviously come back to them and add some value. You say, here's another company in that area that services that I can refer you to. Try to reach out to them. They might be full, they might not. But at least you're giving them some type of value, some referral partner to go to and say, hey, check this person out. They might be able to help you. And so, and if you hear me getting winded, It's because I'm walking. I got 45 minutes of a workout in here. So, and everybody's workout is different. So that's the beautiful thing that I like about 75 Hard is there's no certain, like you have to do this, or this. It's 45 minutes of being active inside and outside. So 2 a day. And they change. Sometimes I sprint, sometimes I walk, sometimes we do outside like weightlifting or HIIT workouts, things like that. So anyway, today it's just a walk so we can multitask. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So, wow, watching this kid pop a wheelie and ride his bike at the same time, and wow, that's pretty impressive. Actually, he's riding a wheelie all the way down this track that I'm walking around, which is pretty impressive. Back to what we're talking about. Back to regularly scheduled programming. You need to check out the service area. Make sure they're in your service area first, because if they're not, then instantly shut it down. Okay. Well, then if they pass that test, they're in your service area. Well, then you say, what are you looking for? And potentially, so there's so many different ways and options that this could affect you. You might not cut backyards. If you don't cut backyards with gates, then you need to find out, do they have a backyard with a gate? If they have a gate, how big is the gate? Is it 36 inches? Is it 54 inches? Is it 60 inches? Because it depends on what size mower you have. And I say this because by doing this, it also helps. It helps you not have to go out and visualize, put eyes on the property, which saves you time, because you can look up satellite images and hopefully be able to give them estimates off of that. So that's another key to another benefit to qualifying the customer. So find out some things about the property. Ask the questions. Do they have a gate or things like that? And so you got the service area, you got a gate. Find out things about the property, and then you also need to ask about card on file. You don't ask about it. You just say, hey, we charge card on file at the end of the month. That's how our billing works. Because the second most popular question that I have is, do you do this? Well, my number one is, do you do this service? Do you service this area? That's number one. Number two is, how do you accept payment? And I mentioned having card on file a minute ago, and I said, everybody says they have card on file. Do they actually have card on file? There's never 100%. I don't think you're going to have 100% card on file for every single customer. I think you should be pushing for 90 to 95. Absolutely. Maybe at least 95. Like, there should be very few hand-picked customers that you don't use card on file for. And that depends. Now, like I said, this isn't a one-size-fits-all. None of these topics are one-size-fits-all. This is your business. You have to take some of this and change it and apply it to yours and what your life and your business fits. So if you're doing all commercial, then are you going to have 100% card on file retention? No way. You're not going to retain cards on file for all these commercial clients. But if you're doing mainly residential, then yes, you should have 95 to 98% all on card on file. And so we have worked to do that our last couple of years in business. We probably have 90 to 92% all card on file. The rest are business owners who pay by checks out of their business, so they don't pay for their cars. And so everything varies. Like I said, you have to apply it to your own business. So it's what works for me. But in saying that, when new customers reach out to us, if they don't say, I'm a business owner, or I have to pay by check, or what, like, there's not a legitimate reason. It's not that, and I have to pay by check isn't a good excuse. Like, if it's just a personal person who just wants to pay with a personal check, like, that doesn't fly for me. Sorry, it just doesn't happen. We don't accept that in our business any longer. Not for new customers, because I'm just not waiting on a check. Now, if you are a business, like I said, and you write checks that way, totally understand. It avoids fees, things like that. So I understand that. But when somebody calls and inquires about our services, if it's just a normal residential customer, then 100% they're getting a card put on file before we start service. And that's something that we've just developed this season. Like I said, we are in this with y'all. So totally, I hope you get that. I understand. I'm not talking top down at all, because these are things that we are doing. Without us, like without me doing these things, I wouldn't be talking if I wasn't doing them. And so I'm trying to adapt and learn along the way as well. And so I hope that you understand that I'm not trying to talk down. I'm just trying to uplift and say, this is what we're doing. It's working for us. If it wasn't working for us, we wouldn't be doing it. And so that's why I believe that if it works for us, I 100% believe that it could work for you, probably will work for you if you're in a similar situation. So when somebody calls us now, before we service that property, they're going to have a card on file. That's end of story. That's it. And here's the thing that you have to get over. This is what I had to get over when I started putting cards on file in my business 2 years ago. I was worried that people were going to say no because they didn't want to do that. I was like, they don't want to give their info. They don't want to do that. And so here's a little plug for Yardbook. I'm back on Yardbook, by the way. Haven't gone into that whole saga. I'm using Yardbook. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm starting to use it more to its full potential that I wasn't doing before. And it's actually turning out to be a great product for me. If we scaled the business any larger, I don't think that I could stay there. If we got into more landscape projects, I don't think I could stay with Yardbook much longer. But as far as the routing and things go for lawn maintenance, it's hard to beat. A key feature that Yardbook has that I haven't found anywhere else, and Jobber might have this, I don't know a ton about Jobber, so you DM me or let me know yes or no, but they have a link to email to store a card on file. That is huge to me. That is huge to me that I don't have to accept cards over the phone, because that is where people get antsy about saying no to cards. They don't want to give their info out over the phone. So with Yardbook, I can just say, okay, I'm going to shoot you a link. You store your card. It's all secure. I don't see any of your information. All I see is the last four of the card, and that's it. And so we're allowed to do that. And it saves so much of their worry. You can tell them with 100% confidence it's secure. There's no problem there. And so, like I said, I was worried about doing that in my business in the beginning. And then I got over myself and I said, you know what, we're just going to do it. And the more I started doing it, the more that I realized people want to do card on file. They don't want to have to keep up with invoices. And I look back at myself and I said, now that I'm a consumer of things, I'm the same way, because I'm bad about paying invoices. Like I'm bad about that. I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to worry about trying to find an email with an invoice and then go pay it. I want my card on file for something that's billing me. And that's just the way that the society that we're in, that's just the what we live in now. And so everybody needs to accept that, catch up to the times, and realize that is just part of the world that we live in. And so card on file is massive for us. You need to be doing it. Everyone wants to do it. Like, unless they're 60 or older, I promise you 80 to 90% of people want to do it. I guarantee it. They would rather, every time I tell them now, they literally say, oh, yes, that's perfect. Thank you. I can't, let's do it. And then most of the time, if I don't send the link the same day, if I forget or something, they'll text me or email me and say, hey, I never got the link. Just want to make sure you get paid. Shoot me the email when you can. So I shoot it to them. They put the card on there. Then I'm going to go end of month billing. And so when we do end of month, it allows us to get paid on time. We did a show earlier in the spring that said, it was talking about cash flow killing you. Cash flow will kill your business. It can excel your business or it can kill your business. There's two ways that right there that it can affect you. And if you don't have good cash flow, if you're not getting paid on time, your business is going to run into the ground. And we don't want that. I don't want that. I have experienced firsthand cash flow problems. You can't be doing that if you're trying to grow a business. It's hard. Okay, it's hard. I understand that. But this is one simple way that if you just do this, you can save so many cash flow problems. So that's a super long pitch for card on file, but it's not a pitch for card on file. It's just me telling you, hey, it works in my business. I know it'll work in yours. So please do that. So vet the customer. We're back to the qualifying the customer. That was a long rabbit trail there, but I'm passionate about it. If you can't tell, I'm talking about things I'm passionate about in today's show. That's one of them. I'm starting to get more passionate about 75 Hard. It's taken me a minute, but I'm starting to get more enthralled in it, and it's cool. I'm starting to enjoy it a little more. And so we made it through those first 2 weeks. We're getting into this third week where the habit is going to be starting to be created. So if you don't like 75 Hard, if you hate it, then we're going to talk about it a little bit more for the next probably 45 days, 50 days until we're done. Actually, until July 15th. That's when we're done. So until then, we'll be talking about it here and there. We're not going to consume shows with it, but we will be mentioning it. So that's what I'm passionate about. Back to qualifying the customer, though. So I want to talk about really quickly. I want to tell you the story. I love story time. I love hearing people tell stories. I'm not a good storyteller. I'm trying to work on that. But here's a story that I want to tell you, and I'm going to tell you why I'm passionate about it. So we are getting into more landscape projects. We are. That's just the nature of the business. We're starting to go more and more that way. I'm actually on the look for a mini skid right now, a very small entry-level one. I'm probably going to get like a Toro Dingo, like a 427 or something, super small. I can get it for less than $15,000, a used one. And it's not massive. I understand that. There's definitely a lot bigger, a lot better options. But for me, it's entry-level into mechanization. It saves me from shoveling. It allows me to grade. I can get a Harley rake for it. It takes our sod. We're getting so many sod requests right now, and it takes our sod projects to the next level. Like, we can bid them way more efficiently. We can get things done way more efficiently and way more effectively. So that's the route we're headed. But anyway, we are getting more landscape projects. That's just the nature of where we're at right now. So let's go back a month ago, probably. It's probably about a month right now. And somebody posted on Facebook wanting someone to come out and take a look for landscaping and hardscaping, wanting to get some things redone, or would like free estimates. That is the quote of death. Like, that in of itself is the quote of death. I was already cautious by that point, but I did it. I don't know. This is a rookie mistake, but I'm telling you now, when people say free estimates, it catches my eye. Like, don't worry, it catches my eye. I'm in that boat. Like, that bothers me. So anyway, that's what happened. I messaged her. I said, all right, I'll come out and take a look. They were right down the road from me. I said, I'll at least go look at it. Let's go see what they have. She explained a little bit of what she wanted. I said, okay, that would be a pretty good project. We'll go look at it. It was like 5 minutes from us. So in our service area, it's all right. I did it on the weekend, said free estimates. Okay, like, we'll go look at it. So we went out and looked at it. So, well, it was hard getting things set up. Actually, it was raining a couple of days. We ended up having to push back the appointment. So that was a bad start to it. I didn't like that. She didn't like it either, because I had to reschedule, I think, twice, because one time because of her, one time because of me, and it rained on one other time, I think. So there was already an issue there from the beginning. And if by some reason this client or potential client ever listened, we are on 100% good terms. There's no hard feelings at all. I'm not talking bad about them at all. I'm just saying, like, if I'm a consumer, I want free estimates too. I understand that. I just don't like it from a business owner side of view. It's hard to see that when that's the first thing you're asking about. So anyway, we're all good. If she ever listened to this show for some reason, we're perfect. No hard feelings. And I hope that the project turns out great. We talked about it afterwards, which I'm going to talk about. I asked her once I followed up, and we'll get in that in a minute. But anyway, so go out and look at it, or set up a time to go out. I go out on a Saturday, and we spend an hour and a half looking at this project. An hour and a half. So this isn't like a 10-minute in and out. We spend an hour and a half walking around, talking, giving ideas, drawing, and measuring, things like that. Well, I didn't get all my measurements that day because we talked for an hour, and I had things to do. So I had to move. I had to come back. Went back another day, measured for another 20 minutes. We're now an hour and a half in by the time communication with her to set things up, looking at it for an hour, measuring for an hour, measuring for 20 minutes, the trip out there. All in all, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours already time invested in this project. And up to this point, I haven't really done much qualifying, if I'm being honest. We talked about it, haven't really done much qualifying. While we were there, I gave rough estimate, I think, of a certain number of what the project was going to be. I think I did that. I don't really remember, but I think I did that. So that was one benefit that I did do, because if she would have shut it down, then I would have known not to move forward. But anyway, this was going to be a good project for us. It was going to be one of the bigger ones we've done. It was going to be a total transformation, total makeover. Would have been our first little hardscape walkway that we were going to do. And so I said, we'll give it a shot. We go back and forth. I talked with her over a design for about a week, probably, back and forth over text, same day, next day, replies, things like that. Probably another hour involved with that conversation. At least an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours spent designing the project. Went to the nursery, talked with the lady about plans, what should go where. Like I said, I'm new landscaper. I'm beginning. We're just getting into stuff in the last couple of years, so I'm still figuring out and learning along the way. So we're probably 3.5 hours into this thing by now. 3.5 of my hours, my time, and send the project out, send her the quote, put everything in there. We designed it in a software. It's an app, and so it's actually a pretty cool app, by the way. If you're trying to do complex designs, it's not the best. If you're doing little front of house makeovers, redos, pretty cool app. It's called iScape. Not affiliated with them at all, but it's a pretty cool app. It's like $30, I think, and they have a wide range of plants. If they don't have one, you can get a stock photo off the internet and put it in there and things like that. You just take a picture of whatever you're doing. You can put mulch in there, plants, all that stuff. It's pretty cool, actually. So go check that out. I spent an hour and a half probably designing that. And it was so far into it that I was like, I'm not backing out now. So we did it, sent it over to the customer. She reviewed it. We went back and forth. I'm going to shorten the story here. She told me that she was waiting on 2 other estimates, probably be next week before they got with her. So said, okay, that's fine. And never really talked back with her after that. That was, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. Texted her yesterday. Said, just want to follow up, see where you're at, what happened with whatever happened about the other estimates. Did you decide who you're going with? And that's the long story short. I just said, what do you, if you decided who you're going with? She replied within a matter of an hour or so probably, and just told me, yes, they did decide that they were going with someone else. Thank you for your time. She was very sweet, very nice. Everything was fine. So I was kind of like, I was just annoyed by this point because I didn't really think I was going to get it, honestly. I just didn't. I thought my price was going to be a little inflated because I'm learning and I had to charge for my time that I thought was going to take more. And so I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to get it anyway. But I don't know. I had a feeling. I was like, we had a lot of good discussions. I spent a lot of time going back and forth with her over at design. I think we can make this work. I think we might get it. And so when she said that, I was like, okay, I understand. I just kind of was like, well, that sucks. But I asked why. And that's one thing I'm also learning to do is when you get told no by a customer or a potential customer, find out why they're telling you no. You have to follow up with them. You have to find out why they're telling you no because you have to get better as a business owner. Your business has to be better. And so I figured out why. She said that someone else, the other company they had worked with, or I asked, was it price? And she said, no, price was good. And so I said, okay, well, that's good. That's another reason you find out. Because, like, I know that I didn't outprice myself. I didn't outprice myself from other contractors. So if I have another job in the future, then I'll know that I can stay within that price range. My price was okay. That's what's the going rate around us. So that was one good thing that came out of the follow-up. But then she said the other contractors gave her a better layout, better design, and was able to communicate a little bit better about where plants were going, things like that. And so I understood all of it. It was great feedback for me. I appreciated her telling me that. Some people might just say, no, I'm not telling you. I don't want to, they just didn't want to explain it, whatever. So that's why I say we are totally all on good terms. But found that out, and I was like, okay, well, that's great. And then I just thought back, and it just started like not irritating me, but I was just like, man, how silly was I? And when I say qualifying your customers, you might think, I don't know you might think something different. I think a better way to put it would be possibly start charging for estimates for large projects. And so that's what I mean by that. So that's just a part of the qualifying process. I think if I would have gone back to the beginning, I would have said, look, this is and this is part of learning the process along the way though, is having to get a few of these under my belt to know, hey, this is what a price range is going to be. So when I talk to them the first time, then I can say this is what the price range is. It's going to be between 12 and 15,000 and go from there. And if they say no, then it's over with. I don't waste my time doing designs and things like that. So anyway, one thing that I learned is like, I sit back and reflect on this. And I said, I have 3.5 to 4 hours of my time in it. My time, my personal time, the business owner, the owner of Growing Green Landscapes. I have a lot of things going on right now. My time is valuable. And I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything. I'm just saying my time is valuable. Let's just say on average, if my time was worth $100 an hour, or your time can be worth $60. I don't care. You put it into whatever you want. We're going to say $100 an hour. If my time was worth $100 an hour and I spent 4 hours on the project, you do the math. $400 is what I should have charged to do that estimate. Because that's the back and forth of the customer. That's the design, all of that. So that's what I should have charged for the design fee. Now, with that being said, if I charge that money, then I have to also go and get a legit designer. I have to get a legit like 3D design, things like that, get it professionally printed and all of that. So, but looking back, if I would have done that, then my business we might have actually gotten the job. So it's all a learning process. And the reason I throw this into qualifying customers is like, I just wish that I would have talked a little bit better about what price was going to be up front. I wish I would have said, this is going to be this is going to be this. And then once we got into it, I realized how intricate the design was going to be, because we were talking like 6 beds. I think we're going to be totally redone. We're looking at a couple places with sod, a flagstone walkway. So it was a lot of plants, a lot of small little things that had to be included in this estimate. And so it just took time. Like, it took time building the estimate. And so I just reflect and I say, I learned from these things of, well, I should have 100% I should have qualified better. I should have asked, or should have said, this is what the price range is going to be. I should have done it beforehand. But now I know. And so that's why I'm so passionate about the whole qualifying customers and things like that, because did I waste 4 man hours on that? Some would say yes. I say no, because it's a learning process. And that's what you have to look at things, is nothing is a failure unless you don't take anything from it. If you fail and you don't learn anything, then yeah, it's a failure. But if you fail and you learn and you fix it moving forward, then that's not a failure to me. And there's a lot better, more polished ways for that to be said. I've heard it said, but I can't think of it right now. That's the Jeremiah Jennings way of saying it. The country boy from Alabama, I guess you could say. But anyway, that's just real life. It's like the failures that you don't learn anything from, those are your real failures in life, not the ones that you actually learn and grow. So I'm learning. I'm growing. Hopefully you're learning and growing. Hopefully that story brings a little bit of just like eye-opening to you and say, maybe you've done that. Maybe you've had a time in your business where that's happened and you've done that exact same thing. And you can DM me and say, dude, I've done that exact same thing. No sweat off your back. Like, you learned, you move forward, and now you know better for next time. So I hope that's the case for you. I hope you've learned and moved on. If you haven't, now you know going into your next bid, your next big estimate, whatever it may be, to take this information and hopefully apply it to your business. So we're already at 30 minutes of me rambling. I don't want to go on too much longer. I just wanted to hopefully bring a little bit of value and share a real life thing of what we've gone through. And hopefully you can relate with it, because I know that I'm not the only one out there. Last thing I want to talk about is, along with qualifying your customers, make sure you maintain a constant line of communication with customers. That's another thing that I've been bad about in the past. I have been bad about replying late. I just haven't been the best at communication, because everyone's busy. Who has time, right? Well, it needs to become a priority for you. And it has been for me in the last couple of months of like, hey, that I just reflected. I said, what do I need to fix my business? What do I need to work on? How can I be better this year? That was one of the things, was have better communication with my customers. Because that's when people ask you, well, why should I pay you a premium? Why should I pay you $15 more than somebody else? If you're charging $75, someone else is charging $60 to cut this lawn. Why should I do that? Well, you have to have good answers. You have to know why. And if that's the value you bring, then you have to stand by that, but you have to be able to tell them that. And so that's one of the things for me that I was like, I have to fix constant line of communication. One more real life example, and then we'll wrap up the show. This one isn't going to be near as long, I promise you. But this week in Alabama, hit with rain, hammered with rain. We've had rain every single day. Welcome to summer. It's where I don't even look at the weather anymore, because it's every afternoon there's a chance of rain. Doesn't matter what the day, what the weather, there's a chance of rain. And so that's just the way it's been all week. We've been raining on every day. Well, we had also the same thing last week. It's rain last week. We had a yard that was supposed to be mowed on Friday of last week that was going to be 2 weeks, because we do a lot of bi-weekly stuff. And it was going to be 2 weeks. And so, and for all of you that are, really quickly, for all of you that are up north and you hear me say, we do a lot of bi-weekly stuff, and you just like turn it off because you don't think I'm valid for anything. You think all of my information is trash because no one should be doing bi-weekly lawns. That's not the case. That's just not the way that grass grows in the South. We don't have tall, cool season grasses that grow. We don't cut it on 4 to 5 inches. We're cutting it on 2 to 2 1/4 most of the time. Heat of the summer, we're raising it to 3, but we're cutting it low. And so we do a lot of bi-weekly stuff. It's just the way it is here. And so anyway, we do a lot of that. 2 weeks on Friday would have been, or last week on Friday would have been 2 weeks. Couldn't do it because the rain delayed us. So pushed it to Monday. Monday, what happened? Same thing, rain. Okay. Tuesday, same thing happened. Or she texted me on Monday and said, when we see you? And I should have texted her Friday. That's one thing. Like, I'm learning, right? That's what we said. We have to learn from things that we mess up with. I learned that I should have texted her Friday and said, hey, we're not going to make it this week. We're going to be out Monday. Due to the rain, we got behind. We're going to be out Monday. I didn't do that. I don't think she's not upset about it at all. Actually, I know that. But it still would have just been a good practice on my end. So, real life example of how I'm learning and growing. Should have done that. Now I know for the future. She texted on Monday, asked when we're coming. I said, we're going to be out tomorrow because we got rained out Monday. Going to be out tomorrow. All right. And so we talked. Great. We're set up a time. We're good to go. Tuesday comes. Rain afternoon. On the way. We didn't get to do it. So, started raining. Couldn't get to do it. Texted her Tuesday and said, explained. Rain. Can't do it. Going to schedule tomorrow. Wednesday comes. On the way to the house. Couldn't do it because it started raining. So I text her and say, can't do it. Going to be tomorrow. Literally on the way. Or Tuesday comes. Couldn't do it on the rain. Rain in the afternoon, whatever. On the way to the house. Couldn't do it. Text her Wednesday. Same thing. On the way to the house. We were on the way. We were 5 minutes from the house. Bottom fell out. And it was one of those, you say, well, and this was in the afternoon every time. You say, why couldn't you start there? Well, I couldn't start there because it was raining at night. And this is a yard on the hill. We couldn't mow it until the sun dried out a little bit. So I couldn't go start there in the morning before the rain. And I explained that to her. I did tell her that because I know she was wondering, well, why is everyone else's grass getting cut in the morning, but not mine when I'm 3 weeks behind? And so, or a week behind. So I told her that, explained why we couldn't come in the morning. Wednesday was literally like, we're on the way. Like we were 5 minutes from the house. Couldn't do it. So I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Anyway, long story short, we finally got the yard cut today and everything's good. Everything's Gucci. We're good to go. But the constant communication is what helped that. Was what helped put it along the way. I explained to her. I was just like, real life, real conversation. Said, look, like every day I was like, we're on the way. Like, I'm so sorry this happened. We were on the way. We were coming. We just couldn't do it. And so she understands that. She's a human. She understands that. But if you don't explain that to her, if you don't tell her that, then how are they going to know? They just think you're jipping out, you're pushing them off, and so they don't know that. So that's just the last little thing is like, do that in your business. Try to have a constant line of communication about whatever it is, whether it's weather or whatever it is. If you're trying to come or whatever, and they have a gate locked or something like that, try to figure that out. Just have good communication with your customers, and that will go a long way. So anyway, that's enough rambling on my end. Just two quick things that I hope benefited you today. If you tuned out earlier in the show and you didn't make it to this point, well, it is what it is. It's okay. I know I threw professionalism out the window today, and I just said, hey, let's have real life, real raw talk and walk at the same time. And so I've got another few minutes here of walking, but I think that's going to wrap this show up. I don't want to burn your ears any longer. So thank you all for tuning into the show. It means the world that y'all listen in every week because, like I said, this is a huge family that we're growing and building here, and I'm so appreciative of it. It means the world to me, and me and Savannah don't take it for granted, especially all of our Marriage Monday supporting and things like that we've grown along the way. So without any further ado, that's going to wrap this episode up. Leave us a big 5-star rating and review. Share it with your friends. It means the world. Share it on Instagram. That helps us so much. It gets us out there to a bigger community so we can continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.